Story 1. Whispers from the Depths. I never believed in the supernatural until the night the old well behind my grandmother's house changed my life forever. Arriving in the village for the summer, I immediately sensed something was wrong. The air was thick and heavy, as if saturated with secrets. My grandmother met me with concern in her eyes. "Don't go to the well after sundown," she warned. I only grinned, thinking it was just another village tale. In the night, I was awakened by a strange sound, a quiet but insistent whispering coming from the yard. I looked out the window and saw the moonlight flooding the old well, casting a ghostly glow over it. Curiosity took over. I quietly stepped out of the house and approached the well. The whispers grew louder, echoes of ancient spells. I peered into the dark abyss. Suddenly, a thick mist rose from the depths of the well. It enveloped me, penetrating my consciousness. I heard voices in my head, telling stories of long-forgotten times and dark forces slumbering beneath the earth. I tried to pull back, but the fog held tight. The earth itself seemed to be trying to pull me down into the well. I screamed in panic, but my voice was drowned out by a chorus of whispering voices. Suddenly, a hand grabbed my shoulder. "Grandma!" She pulled me away from the well, muttering ancient prayers. The fog receded, the voices hushed. "Now you know," she said, looking at me with compassion. "This well is the gateway to the spirit world. Our family has guarded it for centuries, keeping the darkness from escaping." From then on, I couldn't look at the well as before. Every night I heard a whisper calling me, and each time I wondered what would happen if one day I gave in to that call. Years have passed, but the well still waits. And sometimes, on the darkest nights, I think it's me it's calling. Story 2. The Well of Shadows. In a small village lost in the forests stood an ancient well. The locals called it the Well of Shadows. It was deep and cave-in, covered in moss and cobwebs, and long since unused. It was said to have been built centuries ago, and a string of dark rumors lingered behind its mysterious origins. No one remembered who had built the well or why, but they all knew one thing. Whoever looked into its dark depths never returned. Neighbors tried not to pass by, especially at night, but one day a terrible drought hit the village. Water supplies were exhausted, and a lonely old man named Igor, who did not believe in omens and rumors, decided to explore the well, hoping to find a source of water there. Igor approached the well with a flashlight and a bucket. In the darkness, his light slid across the old, time-darkened stones. He took a deep breath and carefully lowered the bucket into the well, trying to hear it touch the water. However, instead of the expected gurgle, all he heard was an ominous silence. Deciding that the water was just very deep, Igor lowered the bucket even lower. Suddenly, his flashlight crackled and the light went out. The old man felt a cold wind coming from the depths of the well, and suddenly fear gripped him. He quickly pulled out the bucket and was horrified to see that it was half filled with a black liquid that looked like a thick, viscous shadow. Then the well made a strange, rumbling sound, as if someone had begun to move inside. Suddenly, the old man's scream echoed in the silence of the night. The people of the village heard it and rushed to help, but by the time they arrived, the old man was gone. The well had swallowed him up again, and no matter how much they looked for him or called for him, they did not find him. The next day the well was quiet and still again. After this incident, fear gripped the village. No one dared to go near the well anymore, and the well itself only grew darker and darker over the years. It was said that its shadow stretched to the very depths of hell, and that those who dared to look into it would fall into a world of darkness from which there was no return. Since then, the village has not seen anyone go near the well for a long time. Its sinister reputation guarded it from uninvited guests, and in the evening twilight, when the light of sunset touched its upper edge, it seemed to emit a quiet, almost indistinguishable, but still distinctive hum, as a reminder that the shadows of the deep never sleep. Story 3. The Well of Ghosts. In a god-forsaken village, shrouded in an eternal fog, stood an ancient well. The locals avoided it, whispering legends of missing persons. But Anna, a young and ambitious journalist, did not believe in fairy tales. She had come here to expose the village myth and make a high-profile report. Approaching the well, Anna felt goosebumps run down her skin. The ancient stones were covered in strange symbols, and from the depths came a faint hissing sound. Just the wind playing, she thought as she turned the camera on. Hello, dear viewers. Today we will reveal the truth about… Anna did not have time to finish the sentence. Suddenly, the ground beneath her feet shook and a deafening howl erupted from the well. The camera fell out of her hands, shattering on the rocks. Anna recoiled in horror, but something invisible grabbed her ankle. She felt herself being pulled toward the edge of the well. A scream caught in her throat as she saw thousands of pale hands reaching for her from the darkness. At the last moment, Anna grasped the edge of the well. Her heart pounded frantically as she struggled against the invisible force. Suddenly, the grip loosened, and the journalist crawled away, breathing heavily. Several minutes passed before Anna dared to stand up. With trembling hands, she picked up the broken camera and pressed the play button. Her face flashed on the screen, and then emptiness. Just static and blackness. Anna threw the camera down in a panic and ran away. But she froze when she heard a quiet child's laughter behind her. Slowly, she turned around and saw a little girl in an old-fashioned dress standing by the well. The girl smiled and waved a finger at Anna. The journalist froze, unable to move. Her mind screamed to run, but her body did not obey. The girl took a step forward, and Anna saw that her feet did not touch the ground. "Play with me," the ghost whispered, and its voice echoed in Anna's head. "We're so lonely down here." Anna backed up, but tripped over a rock and fell. The ghostly girl was beside her, holding out a cold, translucent hand. "Don't be afraid," she whispered. "We just want a friend." Anna closed her eyes, praying this would turn out to be a terrifying dream. When she opened them, the ghost was gone. But the whispers from the well grew louder, merging into a chorus of voices calling her name. Gathering her last strength, Anna jumped to her feet and ran toward the village. She didn't stop until she was in the safety of her hotel room. The next morning, Anna packed her bags and left the village. She never wrote a debunking article about the village legend. Instead, a short entry appeared in her notebook. Some secrets are best not disturbed. The well keeps its secrets, and sometimes it's best to leave things as they are. But even years later, on quiet nights, Anna was awakened by whispers calling her to return to the old well. And each time she wondered what would have happened if she had accepted the ghostly girl's invitation. And in the forgotten village, the old well still stands, shrouded in mist and mystery. And they say that on moonless nights you can hear children's laughter and whispers calling travelers to look into its dark depths. But the locals know that whoever answers this call can disappear forever into the world of shadows, hidden beyond reality. The legend of the well lives on, passed on by word of mouth. And although many believe it to be fiction, no one ventures to verify its veracity. After all, sometimes ignorance is really a blessing, and some secrets are better left unsolved. But the well waits, patiently and inexorably. And who knows, maybe one day there will be another daredevil, ready to look beyond the boundary of reality and find out what is hidden in the echo from the abyss.